Now let's talk about some negative adjectives. अब नेगेटिव एडजेक्टिव्स हमारे कहाँ यूज होंगे? जहाँ पे हम लोग कुछ नेगेटिविटी की बात कर रहे हैं, या देयर इज समथिंग व्हिच इज नॉट टू बी टॉक्ड इन अ गुड वे, या हम लोग कुछ गलत चीज की बात कर रहे हैं. नाउ गलत इन अ सेंस नॉट एज इन अ बैड थिंग, बट अ नेगेटिव थिंग जिसका जो मीनिंग है या जिसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट है वो नेगेटिव हो जाता है. ठीक है. So let's see these adjectives. And once again, I'm repeating that there are hundreds and hundreds of adjectives, but obviously I cannot cover all of them. But these are the main 25 positive and the 25 negative adjectives that I've found for you guys, and we are talking about it right now. Number one is aloof. Now, aloof is something which is, which means someone who is not a very friendly person. If you guys remember, that word in a positive adjective was placid. ठीक है, placid का भी कुछ इसी तरह का मतलब ही था. लेकिन aloof is specifically a person who is not friendly. For example, she doesn't or does not like to eat with anyone. She is aloof. I will not say she is a aloof, but she is aloof. Number two is belligerent. Belligerent. एक तो ये pronunciation में थोड़ा सा tough है. You will not say belligerent, you will say belligerent. Belligerent means a person who is very aggressive person. He is a belligerent person. For example, you will be left alone because of your belligerent attitude. अब वो बहुत aggressive person है, जिसकी वजह से he gets aggressive with his friends as well. That's why that person will be left alone. Number three is big-headed. A big-headed, if you picture it, big-headed का क्या मतलब है कि a person who is a big head. So आप लोग इसकी इस तरीके से example ले सकते हो, या इसको इस तरीके से याद कर सकते हो कि a person who is big-headed means someone who is very overconfident or a person who is very arrogant. For example, he is a master at what he does, but he's also big-headed, and that's not a good thing. That means कि वो बंदा या वो person बहुत overconfident person है in whatever he does. For example, if I am teaching, that means I should not be overconfident person. Why? Because there might be, and there obviously are, very good scholars, very good teachers above me. So that doesn't mean that if I am teaching, if I am recording a lecture for you guys, that means I should be overconfident about this thing, that I am very good in English or whatsoever. All right. I hope you guys got the meaning. Number four is callous. Now, callous means a person who doesn't care about other people's feelings. जिसको सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपने से मतलब होता है, जिसको सिर्फ you can say a person who is a selfish person. He is a callous person as well. For example, the government is very callous as they do not care about the poor people. And इस तरह से हम लोग उनको careless के meaning में लेके आ सकते हैं, that the government is very careless. Number five is very difficult to pronounce as well. Cantankerous. इसको हम लोग अगर break करें तो first you will say can, then you will say tan, and then you will say crus. So cantankerous. Someone who stays angry all the time. For example, I am not comfortable with Ehsan as he is a cantankerous person. यानी कि वो हमेशा गुस्से में रहता है. He stays sorry. He stays angry all the time. That's why I am not comfortable with him. I do not want to meet him. I do not want to talk to him. You can make numerous number of sentences with this thing. Okay. Number six is clingy. All right. Now, clingy means a needy person or wanting someone besides him or her all the time. This is obviously a negative thing. Why? Because everybody needs personal space. for him or herself. But if a person is a clingy person, then usko har koi he needs attention all the time and he wants someone beside me. इसकी एक बड़ी अच्छी example है कि infants are so clingy that you hardly have time for yourself. Obviously, they need a person by themselves all the time. So they are crying, crying, and crying, and you have to look after them. That means that a clingy person, yeah, clingy कौन होता है? Infants ज़्यादा clingy होते हैं. Number 7 is cynical. Now, cynical is often used. Okay, I have always heard in the movies, English dramas, cynical. Now, cynical means someone who has negativity in him and that person never thinks of any good. ठीक है, उसको हम लोग cynical कहेंगे. For example, there's always hope. Don't be cynical all the time. That means कि अगर कोई इस तरह की बात हो रही है, कुछ conversation हो रही है जिसके अंदर person is saying कि हाँ ठीक है, I want this, yeah, this thing will be done soon. And the cynical person is saying, no, this cannot be done. This cannot be done at all. You don't just wait up for this thing, go or do something on your own, or just go and find an alternate of this thing. Why? Because he is a cynical person, and a cynical person always has negativity in him. Number 8 is detached. Now, detached means a person who doesn't have any sort of feeling. Sorry, this is a typo. Just once. Doesn't will come once. A person who doesn't have any sort of feelings. अब यहाँ पे डिटैच का एक बहुत सिंपल मीनिंग भी है कि एक चीज़ से दूसरी चीज़ के साथ अगर कोई चीज़ अटैच है तो वो डिटैच हो जाए. बट ओवर हियर वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट डिटैच, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ पर्सन हु डजंट हैव एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ फीलिंग्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, rich people are often detached. Why? Because they just don't care about others. They care about themselves and their family, and that's it. That means rich people are often detached, and I'm not talking about every rich people, but I'm talking about some people who are like this. And I have met these people. That's why I am talking about. Yeah, you can say that I made this example. Number 9 is dogmatic. अब यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा you can say बहुत ज़रा different सा word है dogmatic. Someone who thinks that their way is the right way and everyone else is wrong. जिसको हम लोग एक overconfident person once again कह सकते हैं कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा overconfident person है जिसको लगता है कि सिर्फ वो ही ठीक है. But obviously this never happens in the real life, because every time you're not right, sometimes you might be wrong as well. And being wrong is not a bad thing. For example, my cousin is the most dogmatic person I have ever seen, which means that he always thinks, आप उसके सामने a person who is a dogmatic person, no matter how much you conversate with that person, he will always prove you wrong. बेशक वो गलत quotes इस्तेमाल कर ले, but he will try to prove you wrong, and he will prove you wrong. Why? Because उसकी एक अना का मसला बन जाता है. And there are people like this. And when you get into conversation with people like them, do not argue. Just say, yes, okay, you are right, and आप लोग conversation को वहीं पे end कर दो. Because there is no reason कि आप लोग उस person के साथ conversation करो. Alright? Next is fussy. Fussy का क्या मतलब होता है? Someone who does not get happy no matter how hard you try. There is another meaning of fussy over here as well, जिसमें वो problem creator होता है. ठीक है? एक fussy वो भी use होता है word. But over here हम लोग इस तरह से बात इसको या इस तरह का इसका meaning लेंगे कि someone who does not get happy no matter how hard you can try. For example, Aisha is so fussy in the restaurants. No matter whatever we order, she never gets satisfied. अब यहाँ पे this is also an everyday example कि there are some people who no matter you can try so hard for them to be happy, but no matter whatever happens, they will not be happy. Sorry. 11 is gullible. It's not gullible. You will pronounce it as gullible. Now, gullible means a person who can easily be manipulated or a person who can easily be tricked. इसको हम लोग ऐसे भी कह सकते हैं, you must have heard a word naive. Now, naive also means a person who is stupid and who can be manipulated or tricked easily. For example, my boss is not gullible enough for covering up the mess I created. इसको हम लोग किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लेंगे? That there is an employee who messed up some work, उसने कुछ गलती कर दी है, and there are some people who cover up their mess and वो आगे higher authorities तक ये बात जाने ही नहीं देते हैं, ठीक है? They maybe cover up the mess or they throw it on to someone else. But in this case, his boss is not gullible. That means he cannot be tricked easily. So you have to tell him in any way. Number 12 is impulsive. And being impulsive is not a good thing. I am also impulsive person and I have used my name in the example. और हम लोग वही बात करेंगे कि impulsive क्या चीज़ होती है. And I would recommend you guys to not be impulsive because being impulsive might hurt you sometimes. So the impulsive meaning is someone who acts in haste or without thinking things through. यानी कि आप बहुत जल्दी में डिसीजंस लेते हो और आप सोचते नहीं हो कि इसके आउटकम क्या होंगे, इसके आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स क्या होंगे, बट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस नेचर यू जस्ट टेक द डिसीजंस व्हिच इज़ नॉट अ गुड थिंग. फॉर एग्जांपल, Ali is a very impulsive person. He just got into a fight with his friend because of this nature. Yeah, because of his nature. Okay? So being impulsive is not a good thing. Next slide we will talk in our next module. उसमें हम लोग cover up करते हैं. Let's continue with number 13 now, which is indecisive. Now, if you guys remember in the positive adjectives, we we talked about decisive person. A decisive person कौन होता है? जो decisions easily ले लेता है. And indecisive means a person या someone who cannot make decisions quickly. जिसको time लगता है decisions लेने में. He thinks a lot of things and then he takes the decisions. For example, I am so indecisive when it comes to ordering food. I just can't decide what to eat. Okay. Number 14 is materialistic. Materialistic means someone who only gives priority to money over the relations or over the friendship. For example, Tuba is such a materialistic person that she gave up the chance of marrying a really good person. अब इसकी background में क्या चीज़ हो सकती है? यानी कि why she gave up this chance? Because she was materialistic. That means she was talking, yes, she was thinking about money first, then a relation, or then friendship. That means being materialistic is not a good thing at all, and a person should not be materialistic at all. Next is narrow-minded. Now, if you go back to positive adjectives, I told you about open-minded, broad-minded person होते हैं. अब ये उसका exact opposite है. That means someone who does not listen to the opinion of others, which means that he is a conservative person, and being narrow-minded is not a good thing. Once again, for example, my boss is a narrow-minded person. All he cares is what he says. यानी कि उसके लिए या बॉस के लिए दूसरे opinions matter ही नहीं करते हैं. He always thinks that he is the right person and only he should be listened in the meetings, which is, I don't think so, a good thing at all. 16 number is obnoxious. This is also a very difficult word to pronounce and use. This means a person who offends others all the time. Yeah, offend keh le, yeah, you can say a person who insults others all the time. For example, please don't bring Essen along with you at dinner, he is the most obnoxious person I have ever seen. Maybe they must have had some quarrel, or Asin must have offended him in some way. That's why he is very angry with Asin that do not bring him at the dinner. He's the most obnoxious person I've ever seen. Number 17 is obstinate. This is difficult for me to pronounce as well. Obstinate. Now, obstinate means someone who is very stubborn and disagrees to change their beliefs or their thinking. यानी कि जो उन्होंने कह दिया वही होगा and nothing can be changed at all. Do not mix up with the words that I've taught you earlier. Why? Because there are some different meanings. That's why I've written these words. And you have to use the specific words at the specific time. That's how you will be able to master the English. Otherwise, let's have an example at the obstinate meaning. She is a good person, but at the same time, she is an obstinate too. That means that she becomes stubborn sometimes. अब stubborn के लिए आप obstinate use कर सकते हो, but whatever we read previously, उस sentence में we will not be using obstinate. Why? Because obstinate also gives you another word for stubborn. Next is patronizing. Now, patronizing is more like a narcissist person. Now, who is a narcissist? If you guys don't know, I'll just tell you. Narcissist is a person who is a very self-obsessed person who, sorry, who always thinks that he is the most superior quality person, or the other person are inferior to him. Okay? And someone who thinks that he is the most intelligent person amongst others is a person who is patronizing. For example, this is where you are wrong. Stop being so patronizing. Okay, ये आप लोग एक sentence के अंदर इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो to talk to someone, a person who thinks that he is the most intelligent person amongst you guys in the room, and उसके लिए आप इस तरह से sentence use कर सकते हो. Okay, this is where you are wrong. Stop being so patronizing. यहाँ पे हम लोग थोड़ा focus ज़्यादा रखेंगे इस end वाले word. Number 19 is possessive. Now, being possessive is sometimes a good thing, sometimes bad thing, but यहाँ पे हम लोग इसको एक negative adjective के तौर पे इस्तेमाल करेंगे. And over here, it has two meanings, and I have written two examples for you guys as well. First meaning is a person who is demanding all the attention all the time, that कि उसको कुछ ना कुछ attention चाहिए ही चाहिए. And the second meaning is a person who, someone who doesn't like to share his or her things. And both of these things are, I believe, not good. But let's have a look in the examples. That is the example में हम लोग कैसे use कर सकते हैं. He is very possessive about her friend and doesn't let anyone talk to her. Okay? यानी कि possessive है उस अपनी friend के लिए, and he doesn't allow her to talk to anyone. He just wants to talk to him, only him. Okay? Next, जो हमारे पास ये था कि he doesn't like to share, उसके लिए we have this example that don't even think of borrowing his guitar. He is very possessive. यहाँ तक हम लोग sentence को complete भी कर सकते हैं. Or you could say, don't even think of borrowing his guitar. He is very possessive about it. It क्यों इस्तेमाल किया मैंने? क्योंकि it will be used for a non-living thing. Guitar is obviously a non-living thing, तो उसके लिए it इस्तेमाल होगा. अगर यहाँ पे obviously कुछ human होता, living organism, अब living में भी human being होता, living के अंदर तो trees भी आ सकते हैं, okay? But we will not be using trees के लिए him or her. We will be using it as well. So human के लिए हम लोग him, her और her इस्तेमाल करेंगे. It इस्तेमाल नहीं करेंगे. It और living organisms जिस तरह हमारे पास animals हैं, उनके लिए भी it इस्तेमाल होता है. But only him or her for the human beings. So he's very, अगर इस तरह let's rephrase the question. or let's rephrase the example. Don't even think of being friendly with her friend. He is very possessive about her. तो हम लोग इस तरीके से सेंटेंस को यूज कर सकते हैं. Number 20 is resentful. Now, resentful means someone who holds bad feelings for others, yeah, someone who holds the grudges against one another, or for some other person. उसको कहते हैं resentful. Bad feelings आप लोग इसको इस तरह से example में ले सकते हैं. For example, his divorce has made him resentful towards everyone now. यानी कि जो उसकी divorce थी उसकी वजह से now he thinks that everybody is a bad person. Let's go to number 21 now. In 21, we have self-centered. Now, self-centered means someone who puts his needs first, then others. इसको भी एक हम लोग selfish nature कह सकते हैं. ये एक selfish nature होती है which is not good. That's why this is a negative adjective. For example, what else do you expect from a self-centered man? ये एक negativity में इस्तेमाल हुआ है कि maybe he must have done something wrong. तो आगे से उस सेंटेंस को कंटिन्यू करते हुए ये हम लोग सेंटेंस को या एक लिख सकते हैं. या एग्जांपल है कि what else do you expect from a self-centered man? He is selfish, that's why he did not call you, yeah, or anything like that. Okay. Number 22 is stingy. अब ये भी stingy नहीं होगा. This will be stingy. अब stingy का क्या मतलब होता है? A person who is not generous and does not pay. A person who likes to have free food maybe or do things for free. तो उसको हम लोग stingy कहेंगे. For example, being stingy is not a good thing. You won't be poor if you pay this time. इसकी अगर हम उर्दू करें तो which is very common, फ्रेंड्स आपस में कहते हैं कि तुम गरीब नहीं हो जाओगे अगर आज इस दफ़ा का बिल तुम दे दोगे. तो उसको हम लोग कहेंगे कि that person who does not pay is a stingy person. And obviously we always have one person in our group who is stingy and who just likes to have free food and who does not like to give money. And you guys must be remembering someone that I'm talking now कि आप लोग के ग्रुप में कौन stingy person है. And next time you meet that stingy person, do say this sentence. You can use, okay, for this thing, yeah, for this part, you guys can use this sentence. You guys are allowed to use this sentence that being stingy is not a good thing. You won't be poor if you pay this time. So please, this time, you pay. Okay? Then, whatever you can say, jo reaction hoga, I would really like to hear that in the queries section. Why? Because I am looking at your queries. So I would really love to know that what was the reaction of that stingy person. Anyways, let's continue with number 23, which is tactless. Now, tactless का क्या मतलब होता है? Someone who annoys other people. अब यहाँ पे tactless हम लोग इस तरह से इस्तेमाल नहीं कर रहे कि उसका वो tact नहीं आता. एक tact किसको कहते हैं? In उर्दू, let me remember, yes, हुनर को कहते हैं. अब ये वो वाला tactless नहीं है. Okay? This is something that who annoys other people. For example, don't body shame other people. You were so tactless when you did that. Body shame का क्या मतलब होता है कि आप किसी चीज़ का मजाक उड़ा रहे हो. Maybe a person who is overweight, ठीक है, जिसका weight ज़्यादा है, तो अगर आप उसको उस बारे में comment करोगे तो you will be body shaming that person. Similarly, a person who is very skinny, और अगर आप उसकी स्किनीनेस के ऊपर मजाक उड़ाओगे या आप उसके ऊपर कमेंट करोगे, once again you will be body shaming that person. This is not a good thing at all. Question, I'm saying question again and again. Sorry. Number 24 is touchy. Now, touchy means a person who is weak by heart or gets upset very quickly या very easily. जिस तरह कुछ लोगों की touchy nature होती है. For example, don't bring the topic of marriage. She's a bit touchy about that, which means she gets sad really quickly when it comes to the topic of marriage. तो उस चीज़ को डिस्कस नहीं करना उसके सामने, उस पर्सन के सामने. Finally, the last negative adjective for today, we have vain. Now, vain means a person who is obsessed with himself. अब self obsessed के ऊपर पहले भी मैंने आप लोगों को कुछ examples दिए हैं, but specifically if you want to talk about a person who is self obsessed with himself, you will use vain. For example, he's so vain that he thinks every time a discussion is going on is about him. यानी कि if a person thinks that अगर आप group में बैठे हैं and 2 or 3 people are talking to each other, that person, the person who is vain, yet the person who is so obsessed with himself will think and will assume that those 2 or 3 people are talking about me. I'm so special and whatever, this and that. So this means a person is vain. And now we are end to our lecture. आज का हमारा lecture end हो गया है, जिस पे we talked about some positive adjectives and some negative adjectives. Once again, I'm repeating you for you guys that please do practice and do remember all these words and use it in your everyday life from now on. And in this way, आप लोग English को master कर सकोगे. क्योंकि whenever you guys do not practice anything, you forget that thing easily. And if you guys keep on using these words, then obviously I can guarantee you this thing that you will not forget it. I guess I believe in for the next 2-3 years at least, तो आप लोगों को ये चीज़ें याद रहेंगी. Okay. अगर कोई क्वेश्चन हुआ आप लोगों का तो you guys are more than welcome to ask in the query section. I will be looking at the queries for you guys, and कोई भी question किसी भी चीज़ से related हो, feel free to ask. Why? Because whenever you guys think for by yourself that maybe this is a very stupid question and my instructor or my teacher will make fun of me, and this is not the right way. Okay. Teachers never make fun of their students. Why? Because a teacher is someone who guides the students. और अगर teacher ही guide नहीं करेगा तो obviously फिर आप लोग कैसे सीखोगे? I'm here for you guys, so please feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. Okay. Till then, thank you, and inshallah see you in the next lecture.